Everybody comes to work expecting to go home again safely at the end of the day. That's why as a union, we fight hard for a safe working environment for our members. There are a number of large-scale structural and systemic risks to safety right across the Australian workplace, including things such as faulty or poorly maintained equipment and plant, an indifferent workplace culture, a lack of training or pressure to get the job done quickly. But what we're focusing on here is how a person in an otherwise safe environment may become impaired and place themselves and others at risk. There is a broad range of factors that may impair someone's ability to work safely. They can include things related to mental health like stress, anxiety, financial pressure, or relationship difficulties. Perhaps someone is affected by injury, illness, or fatigue. There are also factors that may be physical parts of a workplace like noise, exposure to chemicals, or being out in the heat and humidity. Of course, there is also the effect of using drugs and alcohol. That use may involve a big night out, a period of poor mental health, or as a result of long-term dependence. Along with the old favourites of alcohol and cannabis, there is an increase across the community in the use of prescription drugs and the new and emerging synthetic drugs that may impair someone's ability to work safely. And although drug and alcohol testing is supported in some industries, we know that it doesn't actually test for impairment. Screening is limited to establishing the possible presence of exposure to a substance which could have occurred days or weeks ago, meaning it doesn't measure real-time current impairment and therefore is not a valid assessment of someone's ability to work safely. What we're about is trying to identify that for whatever reason someone may be impaired, that they should be identified and looked after because they can have a real impact on everyone's health and safety at work. It's not about becoming a detective or an expert in impairment, but simply recognising that if someone is unable to work in a safe manner for any reason, then we need to respond to them as a risk to the safety of themselves and others, and ensure that they don't resume working until they're safe to do so. If that person needs support or help of any kind, then talk to your union delegate and they'll be able to play a linking role. Wherever you are in Australia, you can go to the website notatwork.com.au to find help in your local area. Let's talk some more about mental health and well-being. We all experience the ups and downs that are part of normal life, but sometimes there may be periods when things get on top of us. In fact, 1 in 5 Australians aged between 16 and 85 experience mental health illness in any year, and as a community, more and more people are putting their hands up to be diagnosed and get support. The kinds of things we're talking about are things like stress, anxiety, and depression. Stress can come and go or build up and hang around. It can arise from our relationships with partners or family members. It can be money worries, concerns about health, things at work, or even just dealing with traffic getting home. When stress or anxiety hangs around or is left untreated, it can turn into depression or other mental or physical health concerns. Depression can come along for many other reasons as well, and it's unpredictable for when it may strike. If you're feeling flat, low on energy, lack motivation for friends and family, and aren't exactly excited about things you normally would be, then you may be experiencing the symptoms of depression. Sometimes more acute mental health or emotional issues may flare up and affect someone at work, and we've got to make sure that they can stay safe, and so can those around them. It might be a panic or anxiety attack, suicidal ideation, a relationship blow-up, or an over-the-top response to a certain situation. Of course, experiencing any of these things doesn't mean that you're automatically unsafe at work, not by a long way. But if it's affecting your ability to concentrate, then you may be heading in that direction. Even if you're safe at work, you may not be happy at home. If you ever need some support, we want you to know that it's available through the CFMEU. Fatigue is also a risk in the workplace. It's more than a feeling of being tired and drowsy. In a work context, fatigue is a state of mental or physical exhaustion that reduces a person's ability to work safely and effectively. It may result from prolonged or intense mental or physical activity, sleep loss, or extended wakefulness. The workplace can directly affect a person by the workload imposed by a job, the length of the shift, previous hours and days worked, and the time of day or night. Simply, it can be about going too hard for too long at work. It can lead to slower reactions, decreased awareness and coordination, and reduce someone's ability to identify and calculate risk. Injuries and illness may also impair someone's ability to work safely, as they might not be able to operate in the same way they normally would. Inappropriate, excessive or accidental exposure to industrial chemicals may cause a range of effects that impair a person and may even cause serious illness. The effects of exposure to such chemicals are known to be similar to fatigue or alcohol and can include dizziness and an inability to concentrate. Likewise, being exposed to hot and humid working conditions can result in a number of adverse health effects, and they are generally grouped together as heat stress. These effects can range from discomfort to serious illness and death. Ask about the heat policy at your workplace and keep an eye on each other during hot days. If someone isn't safe to work, then we need to take collective responsibility and look after each other. We're not expecting you to all become experts, but if your workmate is impaired for any reason, then you're the most likely to notice because you know them best of all. Don't undervalue your ability to positively influence somebody. Talk to your delegate or another workmate if you're unsure or have concerns about how someone's travelling. This is all about the health, well-being and safety of workers. It's about being able to get home safely at the end of the day to enjoy the things we work for. If you have any questions about this, then talk to each other, your union reps, or go to the website notatwork.com.au to find support in your local area.